Why South African youths are crying over statements made by ANC National President Gwede Mantashe. President Cyril Ramaphosa has added yet another sore to the emotional injury during the ANC 114th anniversary speech at celebrations held at Moreling Stadium in the Northwest. He spoke about unemployment, gender-based violence, illegal immigration, high crime rates, and many more pressing issues facing the country. To many people, today marks the first time ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa was vocal about illegal foreigners snatching jobs away from hardworking South Africans. Imagine the hunger in the country, the high rate of unemployment, and the failure of the government to increase SASSA grants. President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed that the ANC government will remain in power for another 114 years, whether South Africans like it or not. Not only this, he made some assuring statements at the same time. R54 billion, yes, R54 billion is to be released by the president soon. Stay in between and see where he promised to invest such a huge amount. Ask yourself now, do you want another 100 years of suffering? Another 100 years of failing to give us free education, bad road networks, high crime rates, and problems of illegal immigration? Imagine our brothers, sisters, and parents lost to massacres, road traffic accidents, and, sadly, gender-based violence. Before we go deeply into what exactly President Cyril Ramaphosa said, what do you have to say about the current state of the country? Let's have your opinion in the comment section, and please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates. Not quite long ago, during a television interview, ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe claimed that unemployed youths are lazy and don't want to apply for employment. Many South African youths have expressed dissatisfaction with his comments, and today the president has made it clear that the same ANC will be in power for another 114 years, whether they like it or not. These statements have reopened wounds that many young people feel have never truly healed. For years, South African youths have complained of being blamed for structural failures they did not create. High unemployment, poor education outcomes, collapsing infrastructure, and limited access to opportunities have left millions feeling excluded from the economy. When senior leaders suggest that laziness is the root cause, many youths interpret it as a refusal to acknowledge deeper systemic problems. This sense of being misunderstood and dismissed has fueled anger, frustration, and despair, especially among graduates who have spent years studying only to return home jobless. President Ramaphosa's address attempted to strike a balance between acknowledging the country's challenges and reassuring supporters of the ANC's long-term vision. However, for many young South Africans, the tone and content of the message felt disconnected from their lived reality. While the president spoke of progress and future plans, daily life for many continues to be marked by power cuts, water shortages, unsafe communities, and shrinking economic prospects. The promise of another century under the same political leadership raised questions about accountability and renewal within the ruling party. But the president has made some assuring statements during his address. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the national government will invest R54 billion over the next 3 years to repair water and electricity infrastructure, especially in metros. This announcement was meant to signal decisive action on two of the most crippling problems facing the country. Aging infrastructure has contributed to frequent power outages and water interruptions, affecting households, businesses, and essential services. For young people trying to start small businesses or search for work online, these disruptions are more than inconveniences. They are barriers to survival and progress. President Cyril Ramaphosa also says stronger community mobilization, effective policing, and the use of intelligence and technology will help curb crime, gender-based violence, and femicide. These issues disproportionately affect young people, both as victims and as residents of communities where safety is no longer guaranteed. High crime rates limit movement, discourage investment, and deepen trauma, while gender-based violence continues to rob families of daughters, sisters, and mothers. Promises of improved policing and technology sound hopeful, but many remain skeptical due to years of similar commitments that yielded little visible change. Political analyst Sandile Swana said that President Cyril Ramaphosa's message to ANC supporters was correct, but needed more detail in terms of clarifying where their energies will be focused to regain the trust of the public. This observation reflects a broader concern shared by many citizens. While broad promises and large figures attract attention, people want to understand how plans will be implemented, who will be held accountable, and how success will be measured. Without clear timelines and transparency, confidence in political commitments continues to erode. This statement is indeed a truth to behold, as many South Africans believe politicians are just playing with their emotions. Public trust has been severely tested by repeated scandals, unfulfilled promises, and visible inequality. Communities have grown tired of speeches that sound inspiring but fail to translate into improved living conditions. The frustration is no longer whispered. It is expressed openly at public events and during political visits. Paul Mashatile in the Northwest was humiliated by some residents as they told him to stop lying to them because they are tired of ANC lies. This incident symbolized a growing impatience among ordinary people who feel ignored once elections are over. Such confrontations reveal a widening gap between political leaders and the communities they serve. For young people watching these exchanges, it reinforces the belief that leaders are out of touch with the depth of suffering on the ground. Could this be another lie from the president of the country? Is he going to truly cough out R54 billion to tackle all that he mentioned? These are the questions dominating conversations on social media, in taxis, and in households across the nation. Many recall previous announcements of large budgets and ambitious programs that failed to deliver meaningful change. As a result, optimism is often tempered by caution, with people adopting a wait-and-see attitude rather than celebrating promises. To many people, today marks the first time ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa was vocal about illegal foreigners snatching jobs away from hard-working South Africans. Those saying he has been protecting illegal foreigners to get more votes were put to shame. He says, "We have said it very clearly that we want people who are documented, who are permitted to be allowed to work." This statement has sparked intense debate. Some youths feel validated, believing that their concerns have finally been acknowledged at the highest level. Others question why it took so long for such clarity to be expressed, especially as tensions around jobs and immigration have simmered for years. The issue is complex, involving economic pressures, regional migration, and enforcement challenges, but for unemployed youths, it often feels personal and immediate. In the end, the tears and anger of South African youths are rooted in a deep sense of uncertainty about the future. They hear promises of billions, visions of extended political rule, and assurances of reform, yet their daily experiences tell a different story. Whether President Ramaphosa's words will mark a turning point or become another chapter of disappointment remains to be seen. For now, the country watches closely, waiting to see if actions will finally match the weight of the promises made.